to another edition of Ozsports FM, cracker of a week in sport and over the weekend, of course. And Travis, how's it going?
G'day, Glad. Good. Thanks, mate. Yeah, another brutal weekend in sport. They always are, aren't they?
Well, they are, indeed, especially when Australia's involved. And obviously got some classic matches coming up in the World Cup of Cricket. And we always start with the World Cup of Cricket.
We do. It's good, though. We're finally getting to the back end of the tournament. It's been a long time coming, but we're here now.
We are here, and Australia v Pakistan is upon us in this great city of Adelaide. And Travis, I guess I'll leave it to you to kick off the proceedings for this World Cup with some of the results over the weekend, including obviously starting off with Australia.
Yeah, of course. Australia played Scotland down in Hobart. Looked like a beautiful day down there in Hobart. It was 19 and overcast and cloudy and wet. You know, both teams went off a couple of times.
Is that Hobart or Melbourne?
No, it was Hobart. Yeah, it was Hobart. Could have been Melbourne, of course. We know the weather there, but yeah, both teams went off. But look, I suppose in the end, a fairly routine win for Australia. Not to be, it was to be expected. I suppose Scotland put up a little bit of a fight there, which was really good to see. I was a little bit surprised, I must admit. Australia won the toss and sent Scotland into bat. I would have thought that Australia would have batted, but I suppose maybe with the concerns over the weather, they obviously wanted to kill the game off as quickly as possible. So that's probably the reason.
No, I agree with you, and I've seen that before when many years ago when Australia played England here in Adelaide Oval, and England weren't crash hot. Well, they're still not crash hot. And they pretty much, I was actually hoping for Australia going back first, and they didn't, because I knew it was going to be a longer match. And lo and behold, England went in and got bowled out quite quickly. So
yeah, and I suppose that's why they made the choice. Obviously, we know that the game was, as we said, the players went off a couple of times, not like a sunny 26, 27 degree day. So the decision was obviously warranted.
And just a routine victory, so which is great for Australia, moving obviously into the next phase of the tournament. Do you think just with Scotland, they haven't won a game, and the UAE haven't won a game, Travis? So do you reckon they should are they going to play each other, or if not, should they play each other just to see if someone?
Oh, maybe they should.
Who's going to be the ultimate loser out of the tournament?
Well, maybe one of them won't go home with their tails completely between their legs. Well, look, I think good for the game, and we have talked about it before. I think good for the game that those sorts of countries are involved. Afghanistan were another amongst that. You can see the progression, as slowly as it may be, with Bangladesh and what they've been able to do after a number of years being involved in the world format, if you like, or amongst those higher echelon teams. So I think it's good. It's good to get those teams exposure. We know a couple of the Scotland players are heavily involved in county cricket in the UK, so they've obviously got the talent. It's just going to take time, but I think we need them. It is the World Cup after all, so
yeah, of course.
The more nations we have participating.
100%. I think that's what cricket's lacked, versus the world game of football or soccer, whatever you want to call it. But and obviously that is the world game, and then cricket not so much, because there's parts of the world which don't even know what cricket is.
Well, it doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. So yeah, it's good. I agree with you 100%. It's great to have as many nations involved, and over the years they will get better. It depends on their funding and etc. But
well, we only saw, I don't know if it was the last World Cup, but previously Ireland has been Australia. So there's one of those teams, a developing team, beating a team like Australia. So it does happen, and I think it proves that they belong.
Of course. Now, how'd your mate go, Watson? He's a good mate of yours.
Shane Watson. I'm very disappointed again with Shane Watson. The fact, look, I thought Shane Watson had a perfect opportunity to really set himself up for the back end of the tournament. It seems quite obvious that he's going to be there, and he's going to play in Adelaide. He'll probably play the semi-final if they make it, and again in the final if they make it. It just seems the way it's going to go. Shane Watson seems to have this path.
How many chances do they want to give him, though, Travis? I mean, seriously.
He showed great potential. He's 33, 34 years old. He's got a lot of potential. So they obviously want to harness that potential and have him play, bring out the best in him.
Maybe he needs to play in the Masters games. It's coming up in October.
It is. Look, Yeah, I was disappointed. Just a little flick shot from Shane Watson to get out down a fine leg. I thought it was unwarranted, uncalled for. Had a perfect opportunity to bat the innings out. Made 24, hit 4 boundaries amongst that. I thought he could have worked the ball around a little bit. I had an opportunity to get into some rhythm, spend more time in the middle. He didn't take that. He batted really aggressively, which is what you want in the one-day game. But yeah, he just didn't quite grasp, I think, the opportunity he was in. And look, I hope it doesn't hurt Australia, but it seemed very individual to me.
Yeah, look, he's been on a rough patch, so I guess time will tell. He can redeem himself Friday, obviously 2 p.m. here at Adelaide Oval, which is the 20th of March, Australia v Pakistan, which is...
How many do you reckon we will get to the game?
Well, you're definitely going, so that's one.
Yeah, so there's one.
Yeah. I'm not going. I'm actually working, so I'm going to go into that game. But I don't know. I think it's going to be a capacity crowd. You'd hope it's sold out.
I mean, look, yeah, I reckon there'd have to be at least 45,000, wouldn't there? Sure.
If not, that is actually pretty terrible.
Yeah.
To be honest. So, I mean, if we can't sell it out here in Adelaide Oval, then we don't deserve the finals.
No, we don't. We've waited for the length of the time for Australia to come and play a game here.
Exactly right. So, but I can see that you're always trying to, in our local paper here in advertising, they're always trying to sell the tickets, and there's also some tickets available and a lot of advertisements. And it's funny because they've got here Australia versus TBD.
To be determined.
To be determined. I was going to say to be announced. I don't know if that was a D there. But got me there. Good advertisement. But yeah, but hang on a minute. We've known for like over a week now that they're playing Baxter.
Well, we had to wait for the results to go our way. It was fairly predictable.
I think they dropped the ball there, Travis.
But you would have thought they would have had one ready to go, whether it was Pakistan, the West Indies potentially could have played, it could have been Ireland. You would have thought they would have had a couple of versions ready to go, and they just hit go on
correct
physical one.
Well, it's funny because on one page it says to be determined, but on the other page you've actually got Australia v Pakistan in the quarterfinal. So
the editorial and the advertising not speaking one.
Not speaking if you're listening out there, apart from our fantastic listeners, if the advertisers are listening, get your act together. So, but Pat Cummins has also come out and said he's going to unleash a bouncer barrage in the knockout stages. I mean, who does this guy think he is?
He's Pat Cummins.
Pat Cummins is just going to knock his head off.
But look, he has been in good form. If he wants to bowl bouncers, go for a Pat Cummins, I'd say.
Yes, Pakistan better wear some thick helmets because some balls will be coming their way, and obviously they can be very, very dangerous in the cricket world. But yeah, look, he's come out with a very forceful kind of attitude.
I like it on the front foot, just trying to assert the dominance early. I'm all for it.
Yeah, so look, it's going to be interesting. As we mentioned last week, we went through the quarterfinal games, but quickly, Bangladesh v India, Sri Lanka v South Africa, New Zealand v West Indies, and of course Australia v Pakistan. So I think we'll obviously it's going to be an action-packed quarterfinals over the weekend. And we're definitely going to bring all the action and results in our next episode.
We will. Who will win those games? Are they as simple as we think?
Well, I'm picking Australia.
Yeah,
Pakistan, Bangladesh and India. I like Bangladesh. I mean, India will win, but you know what? It'd be nice to see them win the game.
Yeah, well done with India there as well.
Sri Lanka v South Africa. Travis?
Now, this I think we had a difference of opinion.
We did have a difference of opinion.
Are you sticking with Sri Lanka?
Yes, I am sticking with Sri Lanka. 100%.
Okay. There you go. You've heard it. He's in.
Take that down.
Sri Lanka trying. I think South Africa are going to win that one. I think they will win that comfortably.
I think it's going to be a close one. Sri Lanka by nose, and I'm not talking about racing there. New Zealand v West Indies.
Look, New Zealand will win this, but if Chris Gale plays, I mean, he has the ability to just come out and launch. So that could be a bit of a danger game for New Zealand, but you'd expect them to win comfortably. I mean, they haven't been trouble all tournament. Obviously that Australia was close, but you'd expect New Zealand to win.
Nah, it's good. So hopefully the listeners out there have got their own little tips down there. Jot them down and see how you go next week when you listen, comparing it to our tips. And just to wrap up in the cricket world, looks like the Sheffield Shield final is going to be held down in Tasmania at the Blundstone Arena. That's fantastic name.
Well, let's hope that the sponsors' dollars talk. Keeps the things going.
Let's hope the Bupa Sheffield Shield.
Oh, yes, of course. Let's hope if it's in Tasmania, we don't have a repeat of what we saw on the weekend with the Australia-Scotland game. Let's hope we get 4 days of cricket.
Well, you'd hope that the weather will turn out fine, and if it doesn't, well, just blame Adelaide. But we've always got the best.
This is pretty good, you have it.
Well, why not? We've got the best standing in Australia currently, so we might as well have all the sporting events here. I mean, Liverpool wouldn't be coming here for no reason.
The Minister for Sport, everyone.
That's it. I am, though. That's it. The Minister of Sport. I've just declared it here. Now, look, something's happened in our country, which is we touched upon this subject earlier on the piece with the Gibson, but the Formula One was over the weekend in Melbourne, which is, I hate to say, Melbourne. And, Travis, all I heard was boring.
It was boring. It was not one of those races that will go down in history as one of the finest moments in the Grand Prix lifespan. Very boring. It was set up, I think, from qualifying, from practice even. The Mercedes cars just
dominated.
So far in front of everyone else at the moment.
Well, 1 and 2. Lewis Hamilton won the race with Nico Rosberg coming in second, and Sebastian Vettel and Felipe Massa coming in third and fourth, and Felipe Nasser, I believe.
Can you imagine that? Watching that yesterday, that was very confusing. You had Felipe Massa and Felipe Nasser. It was quite. I wasn't sure for a moment then if I had a star or I was hearing a star, but it was a little bit confusing yesterday.
And the fact is that only 11 cars finished the race, that is poor. I mean, that is very, very poor.
Yeah, well, only 13 started.
Well, that's even worse.
So that is even worse. It begs the differ. Are Formula One doing enough to help the teams without the big budgets and without the backing of those big corporations like Mercedes and Ferrari and all those guys?
They don't start good enough. No, not good. And even Ricciardo's come out and said sorry about the boredom of the race and the sheer dominance by Mercedes. And it's going to be like that all season, I believe.
Well, it will be. I mean, the dominance is evident in the times. Vettel in third finished 34 seconds behind the winner.
That's a long time in racing.
And you look at Nico Rosberg, he was a second and a half. So a second and a half between the first two and another 30-odd seconds between the third place finisher.
Yeah.
Hamilton and Rosberg lapped everyone bar 3 drivers. I mean, it's got to be like that. The interest will wane very quickly.
Well, look, Ricciardo had a bad start as well because he, pretty much lost the car, so to speak, in the practicing, and then he was down to the one engine. So, and when you're down to one engine, you sort of got to be careful in a way because, that goes everything. So there's no F1 racing for Ricciardo. But
and who did we see? There was another car, I can't think of who it was now, but actually blew an engine on that outlap. So out of the pits, doing the outlap to go to the start line, engine blew off.
I missed it, and unfortunately I didn't watch the race, but I think I saw some highlights, but I didn't see enough to confirm the driver. But it's an interesting sport. Look, I was lucky enough to go to Monaco Grand Prix last year in Europe, and as an event, the F1 is unbelievable, and I wish it was here in Adelaide. I wish I would go here. I'm not really a fan of going to the Melbourne one, and I haven't been because it does look boring on TV. So I think me being there is more boring.
Well, talk about maybe going to Sydney. Would you go to Sydney to watch it?
Well, probably not. I mean, I refuse to watch it in Australia. Well, not refuse. I just haven't chose. I've chose not to watch it in Australia unless it comes back to Adelaide. But $118 million bid, Sydney.
It's a big money sport.
Big money sport, but to be honest, I think it's all wrapped up in Melbourne for the next 5 to 10 years anyway. So, I mean, I just pray always that the Adelaide government will fork out some cash. I mean, I think it's a win-win. To be honest, I don't see us losing any money if we hosted it. We'll go back, I should say.
Yeah, get it back. Yeah, that's right.
But just before we wrap up the F1 segment, but Red Bull is also possibly threatening to quit the Formula One unless changes are made to the sport. Now, this is obviously due to the Mercedes domination that they obviously had. Well, they're going to have this year, and obviously extending from last year. So that's a big call by Red Bull. I mean, considering that they're one of the top sponsors, cars, you know.
Yeah, they are. I'm a little bit surprised by that. I must admit, I haven't heard the context of the comments, but reading them, you know, Red Bull mod the cake and they want to eat it too. You know, it was only a couple of years ago they had Vettel and Webber who were effectively dominating the sport. Now Mercedes have come in. I don't see Red Bull, you know, getting much traction with that. It sounds a little bit like sour grapes to me from how I read it.
Yeah, I mean, look, there's a lot of things have changed in the Formula One racing world. You know, they're definitely not as loud as they used to be, and I can, you know.
No, it's now a 6-cylinder engine.
Yeah, there's a lot of technical rules that have changed. We're not going to go through them right now with you, but a lot of things have changed in the Formula One world. So obviously a lot of the safety ones, which is great, but you know, especially the technical driving aspects of it, which is possibly they wanted to try and make it more even, in my understanding, but I don't think it's worked, Travis.
Haven't quite achieved that yet.
No. So, but yeah, Red Bull obviously threatening to pull out possibly, but we'll obviously keep you informed along the way, and we'll keep you informed with our obviously golden child, Ricardo, and you know, we'll keep our listeners updated.
We expect Ricardo to be amongst the points sooner rather than later.
Yeah, great driver, great person, very humble. Got to meet him as well.
He is a fantastic role model.
Look, I met him last year, had a photo with him, and I had a few minutes, maybe about a minute or so, to really quickly say hello before the photo. And this was obviously in one of the after parties in Monaco.
Yeah.
And he was great. He was down to earth, humble, very nice guy. Just everything positive. And it was like, you know, he could have easily just turned away. So from me, but no, he didn't. And awesome.
Excellent. Folks, if you're looking to go to an A-list event, Vlad, the Minister for Sport, is certainly a man. Hanging out with the high rollers in Monaco of the Formula One kid.
That's it. Mind you, Nico Rosberg was hammered out of his brain because he won the race and was jumping on the couches at the after party. But that's another tale to tell for another. Yeah,
let's save that.
Let's save that one. But now, you know, Travis, you and I, we're not actually, you know, young anymore, and you know, one event that's happening, which I mentioned really quickly at the end of the year here in Adelaide, is the Australian Masters Games, everyone, between the 3rd of October to the 10th of October here in the city of Church.
How was that? Great to have the Masters Games back.
It's fantastic, and Ozsports FM will be providing some coverage for the Masters Games, so stay tuned, obviously, listeners, more throughout the year leading up to the event. We'll keep you posted, but they're expecting around about 10,000 participants.
I must admit, I didn't realise the enormity of the Masters Games. I mean, you bring 10,000 people in, that's got to be good for the economy, it's good for the state, it's good for obviously those people participating. So that's a great event.
Look, I mean, I don't know too much about it, obviously, in the past, but, you know, now the fact that
we're inching towards that eligibility age.
Well, we are. Well, I am anyway. Look, it's 30 is the starting point there, Travis. So I think you're 30, mate.
Well, look, good on you for coming out straight away. Again, on the front foot, eligible to compete, happy and embracing that. It is. I say only 30, but it is 30. We are both past that age now, so maybe we need to get a team together.
Well, and the entries have opened, Travis. They've opened today, so being the 16th of March, Travis. But what about sport? You know, maybe I should pull out the good old basketball boots. Set up a team.
Hey, set up a team, absolutely. Get the boots out, dust the cobwebs off.
Well,
I reckon you should do it.
I see you eyeing out to some of the 3 new sports here. You got ice skating, parachuting, and roller derby, or roller derby for those.
Yeah. Look, I think parachuting would take my fancy out of the new sports on offer. Haven't done it before, but I'm sure I could embrace it. Have a crack at it. Not quite sure what's involved in parachuting. I must admit, I'm a little bit
jumping out of my head
with that. Yeah, well, I mean, what do you do? Are we looking for somersaults and that sort of thing? Are we, imaginary handstands, cartwheels? I don't know. What are we doing?
Well, look, I think the imagination can run wild there. I'm not sure what the criteria is. Maybe we can look into that a little bit further for you, Travis.
We should. Look, it's only $99 to register, so not a big investment.
No. I mean, you know what? I'm seriously going to see if I can get a few people over the age of 30 to drum up a basketball team. However, that is a week-long event, so work commitments and things like that. But
yeah,
maybe they'll make an exception.
Doesn't sound like you hang out with too many people over 30. If we relate back to the Monaco story.
Oh well, of course, I'm a man amongst the youngins out there, so not that old.
Maybe you can send an application form in to Vlad if you want to be involved in his team.
Yeah, that's it. We're going to get the details out to everyone out there, all the listeners out there. So, the Australian Masters game. So, look, that's obviously in October, but we thought we'd mention it because, it's entries opened today for everyone. So, look, we'll keep everybody posted and yeah. And
obviously AustralianMastersGame.com is the website there for more information and details on the event.
Definitely. So, look, we'll go to a quick break and we'll be with more sporting news after the break. Welcome back after that short break. Now, Ozsports Online is partnering up with a new, for all you, how would I say it, horse riding enthusiasts out there, there's a new show called Over the Line. Now, Over the Line Punting, I should say. So we're partnering up with Over the Line Punting and bringing you coverage of horse racing around the country. So that's our new partnership that Ozsports Online is.
And we welcome Over the Line.
Yes, of course.
Looking forward to that. You can get plenty of tips and all the bright knowledge for your weekend racing activities.
And there will be obviously a weekly show. Is that right? Dazza is nodding his head. Yeah, Dazza, the main man behind the panel. Over the Line will have its own show through Ozsportsonline.com. So just make sure you check out our website for all the details. And obviously we'll keep you posted. So Over the Line Punting is a great partnership.
It is, and we welcome again.
Fantastic. Now, Adelaide United, Travis. Now,
please tell me we had a win.
All right, Travis. 2-1 victory over Central Coast over the weekend.
Yes, you beauty. We're back.
We are back, baby. So, which is a great victory. Obviously, still keeping us there in fifth position on the table, ahead of Melbourne City. We're on 36 points and they're on 27. So there's a bit of a lead there. But look, we've got a derby. Well, not a derby match, I should say. Derby. Our most hated opponent.
Yeah, it's the closest thing Adelaide probably get to a derby.
Yeah, it is, versus Melbourne Victory at Cooper Stadium, 7 p.m. This Saturday evening. So, all the listeners out there in Adelaide, because I know we've got listeners around the world, make sure you get a tip and get down there. So,
how's this though? The Perth Glory, they haven't won. I don't know, we keep talking about that. Haven't won in a long period of time. Sat at the top of the table, couldn't get knocked off. Wellington go to Perth and win, take top spot. Perth are down in fourth now, if you don't mind.
They're 1 point ahead of us, Adelaide United. So, look, it's a crucial game this Saturday. Really for Adelaide to cement their position, which they have, but really try and get in the top three, top two. Because Wellington's on 39 points, and Sydney FC is on 38, and then it's followed by Melbourne Victory and Perth on 37, then Adelaide on 36. So this Saturday is massive.
Yeah, how close? It's a great season. A really, really good finish coming up.
Yeah, look, it is. I mean, Wellington's playing Brisbane, which they should win. Central Coast playing Perth. So, yeah, Central Coast, I know they were, they gave us a bit of a run for our money, but, you never know. Perth should win. Western Sydney, Newcastle, well, who cares about that one? And then Sydney FC, Melbourne City. So, Melbourne City, really they've got nothing to play for, to be honest. I mean, we're well ahead of them. So, look, LA United, 2-1 victory over Central Coast. Fantastic, and onwards and upwards this weekend against Melbourne Victory. So,
absolutely.
Travis, this weekend is another massive match. Well, in a pre-season context, Crows, the power at good old footy park /80 stadium.
Yes, it's good to have footy back out there for those traditionalists and those who are a little bit anti-Adelaide Oval when all that was happening a couple of years ago. The ground obviously has recovered from the One Direction concert a few weeks back.
You attended that, correct?
Yeah, I was there bopping away and doing all sorts of weird moves with my feet and everything. It was a concert I was not at, Vlad, so I don't appreciate you insinuating that I was there. But there were obviously plenty of people who weren't, and there were some concerns over the ground.
It's a bit of an interesting one. I mean, unfortunately, I can't attend the match. I was going to, but things have changed. But look, it's going to be. Look, I think Crows will have a full strength team.
Both teams probably should be close to full strength.
You'd think so. And look, the Crows. Look, I hope they win, but I guess especially after losing to your mob, Geelong.
Yes,
Canterbury, mate.
Yeah, down on Thursday night.
Thursday night, yes. So, look, at the end of the day, it's the pre-season. So, I mean.
Yeah, and look, we know weak form is good form, but how much emphasis do we really put on the pre-season competition in determining how far or how much success the team will have in the actual home-and-away season?
I think we used to Travis in the past when it was taken a little bit more seriously. I think now it's getting to the point where they're even talking about, rumours of extending the season to incorporate, because it doesn't really mean anything. No, it takes a few weeks for clubs to actually get into the rhythm of the matches and match fitness, just in that kind of routine rhythm of the season. So I think previously, there was a lot more emphasis, in my opinion anyway.
Yeah, look, there's certainly a place for it, because you can't replicate that match fitness, can you? But I think we do go a little bit overboard and calculate pre-season form and try to translate that into success in the home and away season.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting season in AFL, and look, there's going to be you're going to hear all the news and rumours and whatnot about the AFL from Ozsports FM. Now, with AFL and talking about winning, some players will do anything to win.
What seems?
Travis, and I'm alluding to Ryan Crowley, test positive for a banned substance last year, Travis, but it was only really made public today.
It was, and not only was it last year, it wasn't during the off-season last year, it was actually in July last year, if you don't mind.
Versus GWS, so July 13th last year, so the official is Ryan Crowley tested positive to a banned substance under the AFL anti-doping code on the day of the Dockers match for the GWS on July 13 last year, so apparently he's going to be he will face the AFL doping tribunal in a matter of weeks, and the doctors say that the banned substance was contained in a painkiller.
Yeah, this is a big story because it was in a painkiller, but the painkiller, this is the thing, the painkiller that Crowley has taken was issued by someone outside of the club.
Naughty, I suppose.
Oh, very naughty. So lots of questions, obviously, about this. What was it? What was the painkiller that Crowley was taking? Why was it not issued by a club doctor? Why was he seeing a doctor outside of the club when obviously the clubs are administering all the medicine and the painkillers under the WADA code
and the SADA code?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things here that, questions that definitely need to be answered.
I mean, they've probably been answered considering there was July last year, and Crowley, surely a Fremantle doctor's administration and the doctors would have asked the question to him. I mean, they haven't really commented too much about this today, or they didn't really want to comment. I mean, they could not comment as to whether the painkiller could potentially have performance-enhancing agents. I mean, it's a painkiller. I mean, you'd think not.
You would think not, but I mean, someone should know by now, shouldn't they? I mean, the test was done back in July.
Yeah, look, that's it, and this is just going to raise the question of, okay, why wasn't it announced last year?
Why was it taking so long? Why was Crowley allowed to play throughout August, and obviously the final series in September? He was able to play through that time. A month after the test was done, the initial diagnosis came back, we understand, of his A sample, and it came back positive. Then his B sample was tested, and while this is all going on, he's still playing. So, again, more questions that we need answered in regards to the process and procedure that happens with these drug tests.
Well, obviously, an investigation has to take place, which would have commenced last year, and I guess it's come to this fold now where we're still the off-season, and he's gone into a voluntary, well, he's voluntarily accepted a provisional suspension pending the outcome of the matter. So I think this could be it for Crowley, to be honest. I think this
it doesn't sound good, does it? I think the closest, we've obviously got the Essendon situation going on at the moment. Ahmed Saad is the closest probably case to this. He tested positive for a substance, I think, in an energy drink.
Yeah.
He was suspended for 18 months. He has now come back and was redrafted by St Kilda.
Which is great. Great news.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. And good on St Kilda for, I guess, in a way, sticking by him. Good player. Give him another chance. Yeah, he is. He's a goal kicker, so he'll be handy for them this year. But, Ryan Crowley, 31 years of age, coming into this season, potential 2-year ban. Yeah, may not look good for him.
It questions the intelligence of some of these players, Travis.
Well, exactly.
Not all sporting people are smart people. To be honest, unfortunately, they're not great players, great jocks, as the Americans would say, but intellectually, they're not all there. I mean, why would you go outside of the club to get a painkiller, knowing full well that the normal process is to go through the club doctor? That's common sense, Travis.
Oh, look, I don't understand this at all. I'm mystified by it, to be completely honest. He has all the resources there every day. You would have thought, and you would imagine that would be your first, second, and your third port of call. Your first, second, and third point of reference. Yeah, I don't know, I'm mystified by it.
Yeah, look, it's just it's terrible for any. I mean, look, and drugs is everywhere in sports, all sports. This is the last thing that AFL needed after this Essendon saga is still continuing, but will come to an end shortly.
But they may just be an honest mistake, and it could well be like Saad was. It was just a drink.
Yeah,
you don't think anything of it, but players these days, you can't have honest mistakes anymore. They are bound by these codes and regulations. You need to
mistake or look, if you're going outside of the normal process to get a painkiller from not your club doctor, I think you know what you're doing. I mean, you may probably didn't know that it was, there was a banned substance in there, but why take that risk? The club doctors know.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ins and outs. So.
Yeah, in a way, you just put the pressure back on the club doctor, don't you? Because what he's done now is taken responsibility out of their hands, put it in his own hands.
Done and dusted, I think, for Crowley, and probably a lot of players in the AFL will be happy about that in terms of he's a great player.
Yeah, he's
great tagger.
He's the best tagger in the business at the moment, isn't he? So
interesting. Now, obviously, to end the show, we'd like to go over the lowlights and a highlight of the week. And Travis, you've got a couple of good ones there.
Well, I have got what I think is a good lowlight to start with, and my lowlight refers, in a general sense, to the world game of football, soccer, as we refer to it here in Australia. And it has to do with the Champions League match which happened last week between Chelsea and PSG. You may remember Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
Well said, Travis.
Well said. I was practicing that all day.
Very proud.
My lowlight is about the Chelsea players who ran and just surrounded the referee when Ibrahimovic tackled the Chelsea player. Yes, he was a little bit late, but the Chelsea players were over there campaigning for a red card for Ibrahimovic. He's obviously an important player for PSG. They wanted him off. It was a low light, in my opinion. It doesn't need to happen. The referee is there to make a decision on his own. I was appalled by the Chelsea players. It was just unsportsmanlike behaviour, which we don't want to see.
Yeah, look, that doesn't. Yeah, typical football players, soccer players, whinging and complaining when certain things happen. I've seen it for many years.
We have ultimately though, PSG got revenge, if you like, because they actually advanced on away goals. So maybe a bit of karma coming back to get Chelsea.
A bit of karma there. Interesting low light there.
What's your low light, Vlad?
My low light. Well, look, definitely the low light for the week, and I am sick and tired of it, is definitely drugs in sport. Obviously, we just spoke about it, but to be honest, that is just the Essendon saga has bored me to death, and I'm sick and tired of it. And I'm not even an Essendon supporter. But then, things like this with Crowley coming out, and then it questions obviously the integrity of the game in many other sports, but drugs in sport, it'd be great if there was no drugs in sport. I know that's never going to happen.
Yeah, I think we'll always face some sort of
correct issue, but that's definitely my low light. Not as elaborate as yours and out there. But
I do apologise. I did go a little bit.
No, yours is actually a lot better than mine. I think mine's very drugs in sport. But yeah, just when players like this come out and they've been caught out. Maybe not what he's only doing, or he is, probably didn't mean it. But yeah, drugs in sport is my low light.
Understandably so.
But let's end the show on a couple of highlights now, Travis.
Let's do that. My highlight of the week is Peter Hawley, the South Australian playing for Albany in the NCAA basketball. His mother died of cancer 6 weeks ago, and he hit the game-winning three-pointer over the weekend to send his team to the final 64 in the NCAA men's basketball competition. A great story. Obviously, unfortunately, what happened, but really uplifting story over the weekend was him hitting that game-winning three-point shot.
That's the NCAA tournament is obviously a massive event in American sports, and I know you're watching it closely.
Yeah.
So we'll give you a couple of results here and there in the next few weeks. Obviously, there's a lot of games yet to be played. So, but speaking of basketball,
yes, what's your highlight, lad?
My highlight is a little bit self-indulgent here because I've been involved.
There's a theme here.
There's a theme, still on basketball, folks. Listening out there, it's I'm involved with NBA fantasy, Travis.
Tell me more about NBA fantasy.
Well, all year I've been struggling. I've been managing my team. Injuries, free agency, trades. I scraped into the finals with 6 wins, mind you. Scraped in by.
So is this like an AFL dream team?
Yes. Yeah. In the American basketball. Right. So a few listeners out there, I think, follow it and participate as well. I scraped into the finals. Scraped in compared to last year where I got bundled out. I didn't even make it. And I had to rely on other teams losing, mind you, to get in. I got in and got my first victory today. From a come from behind victory. So it was a comeback. If you don't mind, a comeback for all comebacks to defeat my opponent, Mr. Trimble, for this thing, by about 6 to 10 points, I think, from memory today. So it was victorious because, it was a great victory. Very, very happy. Great start to the week for me. That's my highlight of the week.
And I tell you what, if you could see the excitement in Vlad's face here when recounting this story, it means a lot.
Let me tell you. I was over the weekend. I was over and out. I didn't even bother looking at the scores until today, and everybody was on the phone and messaging me and messaging each other because we're obviously, amongst the league.
Getting a lot of work done, obviously.
We're getting a lot of work done. That was my highlight. A bit self-indulgent there, listeners, but you know what? When
you're in a position to be.
That's right. And I've got one more week.
Well, let's keep our fingers crossed that Vlad can continue his winning.
That's right. Show me the money, I say, at the end of it. So, but yes, we're going to end on obviously a couple of highlights there, basketball related. So look, thanks for listening to our listeners and followers out there.
Yes, thanks very much.
Ozsports FM, and tell everybody, spread the word, share the podcast.
Absolutely, yeah. Get it on your Twitter, get it on your Instagram, whatever it is, whatever you've got, whatever social media.
Talk about it
all is.
And the water cooler at work, Travis and Vlad bring you all the sport around the country and Adelaide related as well. So
yeah, and we thank everyone for listening. Obviously,
we do. Until next week, Travis.
See you then.
See you then. Bye.